Y&R Spoilers reveal that Amanda Sinclair is hiding something deep, a secret that casts a shadow over all the relationships and decisions she makes at this time. Amanda is cautious, discreet, and has never revealed her true feelings, especially when faced with dangerous moves, where the line between right and wrong becomes blurred, especially in a world where every promise and every support can turn into a double-edged sword. Phyllis is the embodiment of relentless ambition. The failure of her relationship with Billy Abbott left her deeply wounded, but at the same time, it also ignited a fire of determination to rise from the fall. Phyllis does not accept defeat, and does not allow herself to be forgotten or left behind by cunning opponents in the business world. She is determined to stand up and start over, even though the path is full of dangers and challenges. Billy Abbott, who used to be Phyllis's biggest support and pain, is now being dragged into a new spiral of intrigue. He is facing a series of risks and dangers that can destroy not only his career but also his reputation, which has been shaken many times by his own wrong choices in the past. In that context, Aristotle Dumas, a curious and haunting name in the financial world, appears like a shooting star, able to change anyone's destiny with just a nod or a cold denial. Dumas is famous for being unpredictable, ruthless but also extremely intelligent, making everyone wary when approaching. Phyllis understands that if she wants to start over and gain a new position in this city, she needs financial support, a strong enough launch pad to break down old barriers. And at this moment, only Dumas can give her that. Phyllis admitted to Amanda that she wanted to seek financial help from Aristotle Dumas after her split with Billy Abbott, as she had big plans for a new project with her son Daniel. The project was not just a fresh start, but also a way for her to prove herself and win back Daniel's trust after their rocky relationship. However, things were not as easy as Phyllis thought. Amanda, as a lawyer and someone who had been close to Phyllis, had to give a blunt warning. She revealed that Dumas had made it clear that he was not interested in investing in new ventures, especially when they came from individuals with complicated pasts like Phyllis. Amanda understood that any involvement with Dumas could have unforeseen consequences. She emphasized that despite her praise for Phyllis in front of Dumas, she could not convince him any further. Amanda's tact is sometimes her strongest weapon, but in this case, it only helps her keep things from getting worse. Phyllis does not accept rejection easily. Her reckless and egotistical nature urges her to think that Amanda can still help her turn the tables, just with a little more effort, a little more risk. She believes that if Amanda arranges a meeting, allowing her to present her idea directly to Dumas, things can change. Phyllis does not want to give up even the smallest ray of hope, because she understands that this success is the most important turning point in her life. But Amanda firmly opposes. She knows Dumas's temperament well, a man who always values efficiency and never lets personal emotions influence financial decisions. Amanda does not want Phyllis to fail or, worse, make things so complicated and dangerous that they are out of control. She chose to push Phyllis away, reminding her that sometimes knowing when to stop was the only way to preserve her honor and safety. Regardless, Phyllis continued to consider another move. She proactively proposed to provide Dumas with confidential information related to the Chancellor, a business heavyweight that Dumas always wanted to surpass. Phyllis believed that by giving Dumas what he needed, she would get support or at least an opportunity to present her project. In Phyllis's mind, intelligence was always a valuable commodity, especially when it came to ruthless business battles. Amanda immediately objected. She explained that Dumas already had everything he needed to know about the Chancellor. Phyllis's suggestions no longer had any strategic value, and if she continued to interfere, she would likely be drawn into the machinations that Dumas had long been plotting. Amanda wanted not only to protect her friend from failure, but also to keep her away from potential trouble, risks that could cost Phyllis dearly both financially and in terms of her reputation. Gradually, Phyllis began to realize that she could not rely on anyone but herself. Amanda's gentle but firm rejection, along with Dumas' cold attitude, awakened in Phyllis the will to find her own way. She understood that sometimes the only help she needed was confidence, determination, and the courage to face all challenges. Without any funding, without the support of any powerful man, Phyllis still had to continue to fight, protect her honor, and especially her belief in a better future for herself and Daniel. The story of Phyllis Summers's calculations, plots and tireless efforts in Genoa City has not yet ended. Amanda, with her sharpness and alertness, still silently watched, ready to take action when her friend was in real danger. Meanwhile, Billy, Dumas, and Chancellor, each character is preparing for new battles, where every choice, every secret can become the sharpest weapon, deciding the fate of each person in this stormy city. Phyllis herself also understands that Genoa City is a place where there is no room for weakness or hesitation. Every day is a battle, and no matter how much she fails or is hurt, she will still stand up, move forward, ready to face everything that awaits ahead. Because, in the end, only she can decide her path, whether it is to the depths of despair or to reach glory. Genoa City is once again at the center of a stormy upheaval as Abbott Communications prepares to enter a new phase. Billy Abbott, a man who has stumbled many times but always stood up resiliently, now bears the heavy responsibility of steering the company into the future. But somewhere in his eyes, a lack of focus gradually appears clearly, like a haunting shadow clinging to his mind amidst the hustle and bustle of work and the expectations of partners, colleagues, and loved ones. Sally Spectra, a bold, strong woman, but also many times hurt by big decisions in her life, has left her dream career at Marchetti to build a new chapter with Billy at Abbott Communications. She not only bets her career, but also bets her heart and future on this partnership. Sally always wants to prove her ability, not only to Billy but also to herself. But deep down, Sally couldn't help but worry about the haunting presence of the name Phyllis Summers. Phyllis's dismissal from Abbott Communications by Billy was a lingering wound in both of their hearts. For Sally, this was a temporary victory, opening the way for a solid cooperation with Billy. But with her suspicious nature and always alert to any danger, Sally still couldn't help but feel uneasy about the possibility of Phyllis returning, taking back what once belonged to her. No one understood Phyllis's mettle and endurance better than Sally. Phyllis's return, in any form, would carry with it a hidden danger, capable of destroying everything she and Billy had worked so hard to build. Sally had tried many times to convince herself and Billy that Phyllis was in the past, that Abbott Communications was now their own playground, but Billy's recent behavior made her worried. He often fell into a state of absent-mindedness and lost focus when it came to strategic decisions, new ideas, or even when discussing the long-term development direction of the company with Sally. Sally was sensitive to the slightest changes in her partner's psychology, and she could not ignore her intuition that Billy was torn between feeling guilty about excluding Phyllis and determined to protect their partnership. As time went on, Sally felt more and more pressure on her shoulders. She knew her own worth, knew she deserved recognition and trust, but could not shake off the feeling of insecurity. Sometimes, during long nights of thinking, Sally wondered if she was the real reason Billy had ousted Phyllis, or if deep down, he had not yet completely severed his ties with that woman. Although Billy always affirmed his choice, Sally was still afraid that one day Phyllis would suddenly return, with sophisticated plots and tricks that only Phyllis could carry out. Standing between these two waves of emotions, Billy Abbott was forced to face himself. He knew that his decisions would not only affect the company, but also directly impact his relationship with Sally, the only person who at this time truly trusted, accompanied, and shared with him all the difficulties and challenges. Billy had witnessed Sally sacrifice everything, from her brilliant career at Marchetti to her own dreams, just to build a new future for Abbott Communications with him. He did not want to hurt her, and even more so, did not want Sally to think that she was just an alternative choice, or simply part of a strategy to deal with Phyllis. That was why, despite always feeling troubled, Billy repeatedly emphasized to Sally, "You are the one I will lead Abbott Communications into the future with." For Billy, this was not just an empty promise but an affirmation of his choice, although behind the smile was still a sea of overlapping, complex emotions. He clearly realized that if he did not devote himself to Sally, all efforts to innovate the company would fail right from the start. Understanding that, Sally tried to bury her personal worries and focus on her work. She continuously proposed bold, creative ideas to prove her value and worthiness in the role of strategic partner with Billy. In response, Billy also tried to balance everything, proactively sharing, listening and acknowledging Sally's efforts more. It was this consensus that helped them find a common voice, creating a special bond, not only in work but also in their private relationship. In that context, Abbott Communications was preparing for an important milestone, the new product launch party. This was not only an opportunity to assert their position in the market, but also an opportunity to prove to the entire Genoa City business community that Billy and Sally were a true pair, completely worthy of everyone's expectations. The idea for the launch party became the first joint project where both could blend creativity and strategy. They wanted to create an event that both honored the long-standing tradition of Abbott Communications and breathed new life into it, representing the new generation of leaders. Closed meetings that lasted into the night, sketches, heated debates about every little detail, all created an exciting atmosphere that had not been seen in the company for many years. Sally and Billy discussed, debated, and complimented each other in every aspect, from the theme, the decoration style, to the experiential activities for guests. In the end, they decided on the theme Modern Progress Connects Tradition, expressing the desire for strong development but not forgetting the core values that have made Abbott Communications famous over the years. Planning the party was also an opportunity for Billy and Sally to get to know each other more deeply. Billy realized that beside the ambitious Sally was a delicate woman who knew how to listen and share. She not only cared about work but also always tried to soothe his insecurities, helping Billy gradually regain his confidence and peace of mind. The times when the two of them worked together, laughed, argued, and then reconciled, made their feelings stronger and more stable in the face of outside storms. However, despite her best efforts, Sally still could not completely erase her worries about Phyllis. The rumors out there, the gossip about the possibility of Phyllis returning, continued to put invisible pressure on the relationship between her and Billy. She knew that just one small mistake, 1 minute of carelessness, everything could collapse, all her efforts would become meaningless. That's why Sally constantly reminded herself to be vigilant, to try harder to protect her current position, as well as to preserve the trust that Billy had given her. As for Billy, the haunting memories of past mistakes have not yet faded. He has witnessed countless relationships fall apart due to a lack of sincerity and trust. This time, Billy wants to do things differently. He wants to use all his sincerity and effort to build and protect his relationship with Sally, both at work and in life. It is thanks to that consensus that the two can overcome doubts and criticism to move forward together. As the launch party approaches, tensions in the company rise. Everyone is eager and hopeful for innovation, but also nervous about the upcoming challenges. Billy and Sally, as leaders, must ensure that everything goes smoothly while maintaining a confident image and demeanor in front of the entire staff and important partners. When the party night arrives, the space is decorated splendidly and delicately, harmoniously combining classic elegance and modern creativity. The guests, from strategic partners, investors to those who had doubts about Billy and Sally's leadership ability, were all surprised and impressed by the thoughtful preparation and clear message that the party wanted to convey. Billy took the stage with rare confidence. He expressed his deep gratitude to all employees and partners, and did not forget to emphasize Sally's role in this journey of innovation. Sally, with a bright smile, spoke about the aspirations of the new generation, those who are willing to preserve traditional values but constantly innovate to reach new heights. All eyes were on them, mixed with admiration, curiosity, and great expectations. In that moment, Sally and Billy realized that all the difficulties, worries and insecurities over the past time were worth it. Together, they overcame all challenges, together creating a new beginning for Abbott Communications. Despite the many challenges ahead, both understand that as long as they are united, believe in each other and move forward together, nothing is impossible. Their story, amidst power struggles, insecurities about the past and aspirations for innovation for the future, has become an inspiration not only for their staff, but also for the Genoa City business community, a place that always honors the courage, bravery, and desire to rise of each person. And there, Sally and Billy, together with Abbott Communications, continued to write new pages of history full of promise. Genoa City has always been a city that never lacks intrigue, hidden but fierce confrontations between factions and ambitious individuals. In the center of that whirlwind, Amanda Sinclair appears, bringing with her news, secrets that have never been revealed. And more importantly, she becomes the catalyst for a series of tense events, affecting not only Billy Abbott, Sally Spectra but also Phyllis Summers, Summer Newman, and Nick Newman. It all started when Amanda proactively appeared at the Abbott Communications office, where Billy and Sally were discussing plans for the company's future. The atmosphere, already a bit heavy due to business pressures, became even more dense when Amanda, with her sharp eyes and inherent confidence, stepped into the meeting room, bringing with her a new, challenging atmosphere. Amidst the seemingly normal greetings, each scrutinizing look, each forced smile contained hidden intentions, reservations, and concerns that had not been revealed. Billy was the one who initiated the conversation, not hiding his dissatisfaction when he bluntly pointed out that the office of Aristotle Dumas, the mysterious and powerful businessman, kept postponing meetings that he had proactively requested. Dumas's attitude made Billy feel like he was being led around by the nose, even being looked down upon in this ruthless business war. He did not hesitate to express his annoyance in front of Amanda, who he thought might have some answers or at least provide some useful information about Dumas' next move. Sally, sitting next to Billy, did not hide her suspicion, even a bit of contempt. She always saw Amanda as a hidden rival, someone who could appear at any time to disrupt what she and Billy were trying to build at Abbott Communications. Every word, every action of Amanda made Sally wary. She told herself to always be alert, because even the smallest mistake could cause all plans to fail. Amanda, with the demeanor of a seasoned lawyer, was not easily swayed by the confrontational attitudes of both Billy and Sally. Instead, she went straight to the point, announcing that she had just met with Devin Winters, Lily Winters, and Nate Hastings. But the information that both Billy and Sally could not have expected the most was that Amanda revealed that she was now Aristotle Dumas's lawyer. The announcement was like a heavy blow, leaving Billy stunned, and Sally bursting with anger and anxiety. Billy pressed Amanda about the reason for the Dumas office's constant delays and unexplained delays. He emphasized that Abbott Communications had no time for pointless dilatory games. However, Amanda only smiled coldly, admitting that she could not reveal anything about Dumas or Chancellor, a major competitor in the business world. She could not provide Billy with a firm appointment or commitment, which made him even more frustrated. It was not only the disappointment at work, but also the uncertainty about the future of the project that he and Sally were putting all their efforts into. However, Amanda did not come just to deliver bad news. With sensitivity and experience, she tried to redirect the conversation, advising Billy to spend time mending things with Jill Abbott, an important woman not only in work but also in Billy's life. Amanda understood that there were cracks within Abbott that were just as dangerous as the battles outside the business world. And if Billy did not heal those wounds soon, he would not be able to stand firm in the upcoming storm. Amanda's words made the atmosphere in the room heavy. Although he still tried to act strong on the outside, Billy knew deep down inside, the cracks with Jill Abbott always made him worried and tormented. Amanda's wisdom lay not in offering specific solutions, but in reminding Billy of what was truly important, the close relationships that could help him overcome any challenge. When Amanda left, the atmosphere between Billy and Sally became tense and heavy. Sally, who had always been wary of Amanda, immediately showed indifference, telling Billy directly that she had no interest in Amanda or the stories related to this lawyer. Behind that tough exterior, Sally was truly worried that Amanda could be a threat to her future at Abbott Communications. She did not believe in Amanda's coincidence, especially when Amanda had just made moves to approach important leaders like Devin, Lily, and Nate. Sally didn't hesitate to put forward a hypothesis, suggesting to Billy that she was willing to bet money that Amanda was hiding something. She emphasized the ambiguity in the way Amanda answered questions about Dumas and Chancellor, to force Billy to admit that this whole situation was becoming more and more suspicious, not as simple as they had thought. Billy's eyes flashed with a bit of confusion, and at the same time he began to waver under Sally's sharp analysis. He admitted that he also felt that something was wrong, that Amanda was definitely hiding some part of the truth, something that he, with all his experience, had not yet been able to accurately determine.